Under the dense fog, lit ominously by the torchlight in the cavern, Riley, Anne, and Pemblewink emerged wearily from the aftermath of their intense battle. Their steps echoed through the rocky chamber, punctuating the solemn silence that enveloped them. Only the rays of light from the cave's opening beckoned them forward. As they walked, Riley, still catching his breath, turned to Pemblewink with a hint of intrigue to his voice. "What the hell just happened there? Why did that thing want to kill us?" Pemblewink, the seasoned guide with that knowing twinkle in his eye, sighed deeply. "Ah, that's a very sad tale indeed, one of heartbreak and ancient curses," he began, his voice carrying the weight of the story. She was known as Lady Seraphina, married into a very wealthy family, grew an estate, helped children to become strong. She was a beauty whose grace enchanted all who laid eyes on her. Anne listened intently as Pemblewink continued, but alas, Seraphina's heart belonged to another, and in a moment of folly she strayed. Her lover discovered her betrayal, and in a fit of rage and sorrow, he cursed her to be forever caught between the worlds of spider and woman. What an awful shame. She had such a promise ahead of her. The trio walked on, the atmosphere heavy with the weight of the tragic narrative. Pemblewink recounted the lonely existence that befell Lady Seraphina, forever condemned to weave webs of isolation, her heart forever guarded against the warmth of love. As they approached the cave's exit, the trio squinted against the sudden brightness, emerging into the sunlight. All exchanged sad glances of the tale from earlier. Leaving out from the shadows of the cave, Pemblewink, the informative guide, took a deep breath of the crisp woodland air. His whiskers moved in the billowing air currents. His muzzle broke into a reassuring smile as he turned to Anne and Riley, encouraging them forward onto the path before them. "Come, my friends," Pemblewink exclaimed, his voice carrying a blend of wisdom and excitement. "No need to be alarmed. I promise you will love it here." As they stepped into the open, the landscape unfolded before them like a living tapestry. Standing side by side, their eyes wide with awe, as the trees of the mystical forest swayed gracefully like a wave of greeting. The very air seemed alive with a pulse and living heartbeat, and the ground beneath their feet was a rhythmic breath of moss that glowed in a kaleidoscope of elegant colors. The duo exchanged amazed glances, enchanted by the surreal dance of the colossal trees. Each movement was a symphony of creaks, as if the forest itself was sharing its secrets in a language only they could feel deep within. Suddenly, a sound ripped throughout the forest. A tidal wave of bass rung out as the trees began to rise, their roots unearthing themselves, twisting and turning into wooden giants. Born from the heart of a towering tree as it slowly unfurls its massive limbs, roots twisting into formidable fists. As it gracefully kneels to meet Riley and Anne's eye level, the bark on its face tells tales of centuries past, etched with lines and curves, forming an intricate visage. Unseen insects traverse the bark, crafting ephemeral expressions like brows that convey ancient wisdom. The sound of the wooden giant's movement is a symphony of mumbles and groans, reminiscent of the forest's past. Each step echoes with the resonance of nature's ageless rhythm. When it breathes out, the exhale resonates through the forest, a gentle breeze carrying with it the essence of the tree's timeless energy, as if the very soul of the woods is exhaling its tranquility. Riley ran his fingers through the air, feeling the ethereal grace that surrounded them. "I never imagined anything like this," he whispered to Anne, a voice filled with wonder. Anne, her eyes reflecting the vibrant hues of the luminous moss, nodded in agreement. "It's like stepping into a dream." As they ventured further into the heart of the enchanted forest, the trees continued their majestic dance, creating pathways that seemed to unfold before them. The breathing moss underfoot released a soft glow, casting an ambience that painted the surroundings in a surreal palette. Riley and Anne marveled at the whimsical sights, captivated by the ever-shifting landscape. They felt a profound connection to the living, breathing heart of the forest, surrounded by a symphony of nature's wonders. Pemblewink watched their expressions with a knowing smile, spoke, "This, my friends, is the true magic of the woodland. Every step reveals a new marvel, and every breath taken is shared with the ancient spirits that reside within the majestic hollow." While meandering through greenery, Riley's keen eyes catch sight of an ancient pattern etched into the bark of a majestic tree. Curiosity guiding him, he observes that the patterns extend further, discovering intricate runes adorning the bark of the surrounding trees. He notices the same patterns connected to the ones he'd seen earlier on rock outside the portal. As he follows the winding path of these mystical symbols, whispers on the wind begin to speak to him, their ethereal voices carrying a crimson glow. Enveloped in the whispers, Riley senses a connection to the ancient history of the wood. Reciting back to Anne, he reveals that they are in some way connected to this realm. Riley recites what he's being told, but he can barely make out most of the details as they come and go fast in his mind. According to the mystical lore, Riley and Anne have been watched since their birth, but by whom or by what is unclear. Riley, coming out of the enchantment, turns around to look behind him, and by his face, Anne knew that what he said to her was no joke. In this moment, they lock eyes and become aware of the profound responsibility bestowed upon them. The fate of this realm may rest in their hands, and the runes etched into the trees are a testament to the unfolding destiny that awaits them. But what lies ahead, they still do not know. As their spirited guide retells the mysteries of Underspell's wood, he regales Riley and Anne with tales of his experiences. He paints a vivid picture of the forest, where nature and magic entwine harmoniously. As they journey, a distant horde of creatures resembling human hand-sized ants with leaf-like appearances captures their attention. These peculiar beings diligently climb the trees, adding an air of wonder to the woodland landscape. Descending along a winding pathway, hugging the hillside where the long grass reveals flowers that have small faces, they encounter a breathtaking sight. Anne and Riley approached the Enchanted River. Its waters shimmered with an ethereal glow, reflecting the dappled sunlight filtering through the dense surrounding forest. The river's depth seemed immeasurable, as though it reached into the very heart of the earth. The surface, like liquid crystal, was so clear that the duo could not discern where the water ended and the air began. Wisps of enchantment danced on the water, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. Beneath the surface, hidden from mortal eyes, the river's depths revealed a magical realm inhabited by diminutive fey creatures. Luminescent plants adorned the riverbed, casting a gentle, soothing light in shades of azure and emerald. As Anne and Riley peered into the water, they glimpsed the intricate homes of the Fae, constructed from iridescent materials that seemed to blend seamlessly with the aquatic surroundings. The Fae, no larger than fireflies, flitted about with delicate wings, leaving trails of glittering stardust in their wake. Curious aquatic flora, adorned with radiant blossoms, swayed in harmony with the gentle currents. Hidden caves, concealed by cascading curtains of luminescent algae, harbored secrets known only to the river's mystical inhabitants. The riverbed itself held ancient runes that pulsed with an arcane energy, hinting at the deep connection between the enchanted waters and the magical essence that permeated the entire ecosystem. In the silence of this enchanted realm, Anne and Riley marveled at the beauty and mystery that unfolded beneath the surface of the seemingly bottomless river. Descending along a winding pathway, Hugging the hillside, where the long grass reveals flowers that have small faces, they encounter a breathtaking sight. Anne and Riley approached the Enchanted River. Its waters shimmered with an ethereal glow, reflecting the dappled sunlight filtering through the dense surrounding forest. The river's depth seemed immeasurable, as though it reached into the very heart of the earth. The surface, like liquid crystal, was so clear that the duo could not discern where the water ended and the air began. Wisps of enchantment danced on the water, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. Beneath the surface, hidden from mortal eyes, the river's depths revealed a magical realm inhabited by diminutive fey creatures. Luminescent plants adorned the riverbed, casting a gentle, soothing light in shades of azure and emerald. As Anne and Riley peered into the water, they glimpsed the intricate homes of the Fae, constructed from iridescent materials that seemed to blend seamlessly with the aquatic surroundings. The Fae, no larger than fireflies, flitted about with delicate wings, leaving trails of glittering stardust in their wake. Curious aquatic flora, adorned with radiant blossoms, swayed in harmony with the gentle currents. Hidden caves, concealed by cascading curtains of luminescent algae, harbored secrets known only to the river's mystical inhabitants. The riverbed itself held ancient runes that pulsed with an arcane energy, hinting at the deep connection between the enchanted waters and the magical essence that permeated the entire ecosystem. In the silence of this enchanted realm, Anne and Riley marveled at the beauty and mystery that unfolded beneath the surface of the seemingly bottomless river. Continuing their exploration, Pemblewink leads them to meadows adorned with colossal mushrooms and miniature structures crafted out of teapots and boots, repurposed into tiny buildings. Realizing this is actually a miniature village, the air is filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers, and meandering meadows give way to small, trodden pathways where wagons the size of blades of grass roll, as if inviting curious wanderers to uncover the secret within. As Riley and Anne step into this whimsical realm, they can't believe their eyes. The village is a kaleidoscope of colors bursting into fireworks, constructed entirely from the forgotten belongings of those who once passed through the woods. Old quays form cobblestone streets, discarded jewelry adorns quaint cottages, and forgotten books create canopies. Each item tells a story, weaving a tale of memories into the very fabric of this mystical settlement. Tiny beings resembling humans but adorned with delicate, iridescent wings flit about the village. Their laughter is a melodic symphony, and as Riley and Anne listen, they catch whispers of conversations and the faint strains of medieval music. The little inhabitants gather over intricately crafted garden fences, adorned with miniature flowers that glow softly in the ever-fading sun. In this magical haven, everyday life takes on a fairy-like charm. Bakers roll out dough on their stalls for ethereal pastries, while tiny farmers tend to fields of enchanted blossoms. Riley and Anne observe the bustling marketplace where the miniature folk trade sparkling crystals and shimmering trinkets. There's a sense of harmony as these diminutive beings coexist with the remnants of the human world, fashioning a utopia that seamlessly blends nature and enchantment. As the sun begins to set, the village comes alive with the warm glow of lanterns made from repurposed glass baubles. The air is filled with the aroma of herbs, and the tiny beings dance under the starlit sky, their wings glistening like a constellation of fireflies. Riley and Anne find themselves spellbound by the enchantment of this miniature world. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue across the meadow, Anne, Riley, and Pemblewink huddled at the edge, hidden behind tall blades of grass. The air was thick with tension as they strained to blend into the natural surroundings, hoping to escape the notice of prying fey eyes. Anne's sharp ears caught a faint melody of laughter and light footsteps. She gestured for her companions to stay low as she tuned into the soft murmur of voices wafting through the air. Huddled together, they strained to decipher the words carried on the gentle breeze. Fey voices, delicate and otherworldly, painted the air. Anne's heart quickened as she discerned the topic of discussion whispers of the woodland changing, a clandestine conversation echoing in the garden beyond. Pemblewink shifted nervously, and Riley's eyes widened with anticipation. Anne leaned in, her keen senses absorbing every word. The Fae spoke of an ancient prophecy, a secret vault concealed within the veil that held the key to their realm's destiny. The weight of responsibility settled on Anne's shoulders as she heard them speak of two untrained magic users, individuals destined to unravel the mysteries within. "Laurel, there's talk that the veil has been breached," murmured a melodious voice, its urgency cutting through the evening air. "Two mortals, untrained and unaware, have entered. They are said to be the ones who will unlock the secrets hidden within the vaults, revealing the prophecy. That's our prophecy. It's meant to be ours for the taking." Anne's mind raced as she processed the gravity of the information. The Fae, unaware of their presence, debated the impossibility of mortals wielding such power. The trio exchanged glances, understanding the magnitude of the task that lay ahead. "Sergtude, that's fable talk you speak. There's not been power like that for centuries." Another rugged bearded Fae spoke, who had a scar down one side of his face. "We must act swiftly. Don't pretend you don't see the wood has been changing. They'll be hunted by many in this place, not just ours," one Fae urged, the urgency in their tone mirroring Anne's growing sense of responsibility. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the meadow, Anne, Riley, and Pemblewink silently retreated, their minds now filled with the weight of destiny and the challenge that awaited them in the enchanted realm beyond. Riley's steps quickened, cutting through the tall grasses of the meadow as he raced to catch up with Pemblewink. "Don't you dare walk away from this," he called, his voice tight with urgency. Pemblewink, however, continued to stride purposefully ahead, his gaze fixed on the horizon. Riley runs in front of him to cut him off. "What were they talking about back there? Have you lied to us this whole time?" Riley demanded, finally catching his breath and turning to face Pemblewink, his eyes narrowed. Pemblewink sighed, his pointed ears drooping, slightly feeling ashamed. "They spoke of the prophecy, Riley. The one your sister uncovered as soon as she stepped foot through that portal," Pemblewink replied, his voice soft but laced with concern. Riley's eyes filled with tears of frustration, a mix of fear as emotions crossed his face. "And? What did they mean exactly when they said they will be hunted?" "Failed to mention that, didn't you?" he pressed, almost accusingly. Pemblewink hesitated before responding. "They spoke of a hunt, but I am not aware anyone else even knows you are here, Riley. The Fae are extremely observant, that is all. Trust me." Riley's fists clenched, his jaw tight. "You can't speak of us trusting you. You knew this all along, didn't you? We didn't ask for this prophecy nonsense. Why are we being hunted?" Pemblewink raised an eyebrow, meeting Riley's gaze. "Prophecies are not to be taken lightly, Riley. They all carry consequences, and the Fae are bound by their ancient laws. We have to find a way to get you to Mrs. Perifold." Riley's frustration boiled over. "Who the hell is that? Why are you so cryptic? We didn't ask for any of this," he shouted, the tension between them escalating. Pemblewink sighed again, his features softening and trying to help him see reason. "We'll figure it out, Riley, but arguing won't help. We need to find a way forward for you both. Mrs. Perifold is that way forward," Pemblewink urged, his eyes searching Riley's for understanding. The meadow, once serene, now held the weight of an uncertain fate as the two continued their heated discussion, the looming threat of a fey hunt casting a shadow over their every word. Anne's trust in Pemblewink crumbles, leaving her with a sinking discomfort. The revelation weighs heavily on both Riley and Anne, their shared vulnerability evident as Pemblewink's secrets unfold. The realization that they are entangled in something beyond their control creates a palpable sense of exhaustion and fear. Manifesting in her, she sinks silently to the floor, a poignant physical expression of their emotional turmoil. "Well, it's settled then, isn't it?" Anne speaks clearly through the air towards Riley and Pemblewink's ears, her back turned to them. Riley, turning round, is faced with his sister pacing fast towards Pemblewink. "There's no choice or backing out now, just like he said to us at the cave. No point in trying to get away. We have been led to our deaths by a lying, filthy toad." With every insult in her voice, she lashes out at Pemblewink. Riley pushes his sister backwards and away from the situation before turning slightly menacingly towards Pemblewink with a distrusting glare. "After you, then. Let's go meet this Perifold woman." Riley grabs for a long stick in the earth under his feet and starts forcefully poking at the feline's furry bottom. Leaving the mini-village behind them, only a few wide steps, and they are far from the little hamlet as they embark on a pursuit of Pemblewink through the darkest part of the woodland. Here, thick mud puddles bubble like black lava, roots bear thorns as large and sharp as daggers as they twist and swell in the black of night. In the tense confrontation, Riley tightens his grip on Pemblewink as he's levitating off the ground, being held up by Riley, pushing him perilously close to the menacing giant thorns. "This is your mess, Pemblewink. You better find a way out of this cursed forest," Riley demands, frustration evident in their voice. With a resourceful move, Pemblewink swiftly retrieves a slightly broken wand-shaped object from his pocket. It looked like it had been repaired many moons ago. As Pemblewink utters the incantation, a shimmering energy emanates from the makeshift wand, weaving through the air like a spectral dance. The thorns and vines before them seem to quiver and part, unveiling a mesmerizing gateway bathed in a soft, otherworldly glow. The portal manifests as a luminous arch, its edges adorned with delicate, ethereal patterns that contrast sharply with the dark, foreboding forest surroundings. It serves as both a doorway to safety and a testament to Pemblewink's unexpected magical prowess, momentarily illuminating the tension-filled scene with its mysterious radiance. Turning to look back, Anne and Riley witness the path they traversed sinking into a mysterious void, leaving them feeling torn between the wonders and beauty of the realm and the thoughts rushing through their minds of dread and darkness. They both hold each other's hand, gripping tightly before stepping a foot into the unknown.